Yes, black labor in the South contributed to an enormous amount of wealth for these plantation owners. Black slavery built Southern railroads, ports, but not a lot of white people owned slaves in the South, and it was abolished in the North in like 1804. It was never even in the West. So yes, they contributed to building parts of America, but so did the Irish, the English, the Scotch, the Welsh, the Germans. Everybody built America.
I usually refer to Fox News as Fox Entertainment. It's common knowledge now that people aren't expected to believe what these hosts say. But even with that, the likes of Sean Hannity will admit to being a talk show host, not a journalist. However, Jesse Waters here proves that, somehow, their audience is entertained by lies. Some way we're supposed to trust or agree that the money which came to America through the institution of U.S. chattel slavery, the greatest material interest of the world according to Mississippi Secession Convention, worth $3.5 billion at the start of the Civil War, stayed only with wealthy enslavers south of the Mason-Dixon and east of the Mississippi River? More on this later. What's prompting this discussion is the reboot of the Disney show, The Proud Family, and according to Fox News, it received backlash over a rap in a recent episode of the cartoon featuring kids debating about slavery and reparations, arguing that America, quote, owes black Americans because America still has not atoned for its systemic prejudice, racism, and white supremacy. The descendants of slaves continue to build it. Slaves built this country, and we, the descendants of slaves in America, have earned reparations for their suffering and continue to earn reparations every moment we spend submerged in the systemic prejudice, racism, and white supremacy that America was founded with and still has not atoned for. Again, this came from a Disney Plus episode of The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. So, this is the reason why Jesse Waters is saying he doesn't want reparations for slavery, unless he can benefit from it.
And when you say who built something, well, who designed it? Who was the architect? Who financed it? Labor's just a part of it. So if we're going to have a conversation about reparations, which I'm open to since I'm 1% black.
Yeah, that's true.
And I might get a check. You have to talk about it accurately.
Fox Entertainment doesn't want an honest discussion about slavery or reparations. Just check what they've been saying. The Irish, the English, the Scotch, the Welsh, the Germans, they got paid for their labor. So were the architects and accountants and slave owners in Washington, D.C., who got reparations for lost property. As I alluded to earlier, money from U.S. chattel slavery went all around the world. This per the BBC. Some of the largest insurance firms in the U.S., New York Life, AIG, and Aetna, sold policies that ensured slave owners would be compensated if the slaves they owned were injured or killed. New England merchants made money selling timber and ice to the South and the Caribbean. In turn, Northern merchants bought raw cotton and sugar. New England's fabric mills played a key role in the U.S. Industrial Revolution, but their supply of cotton came from the slave-reliant South. Brands like Brooks Brothers, the oldest men's clothier in the U.S., turned Southern cotton into high-end fashion. Domino Sugar, once the largest sugar refiner in the U.S., processed slave-grown sugarcane. By the mid-19th century, exports of raw cotton accounted for more than half of U.S. overseas shipments. What wasn't sold abroad was sent to mills in northern states, including Massachusetts and Rhode Island, to be turned into fabric. In 2005, J.P. Morgan Chase, currently the biggest bank in the U.S., admitted that two of its subsidiaries, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted enslaved people as collateral for loans. If plantation owners defaulted on loan payments, the banks took ownership of the slaves. JP Morgan was not alone. The predecessors that made up Citibank, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo are among a list of well-known U.S. financial firms that benefited from the slave trade. You want to know where else we could have learned this information? From the Proud Family Reboot, the cartoon Jesse Waters is talking about, which said, "We made your families rich." From the Southern plantation heirs to the Northern bankers to the New England ship owners, the founding fathers, former presidents, current senators, the Illuminati, the New World Order. For more from the Young Turks, stay right here. If you haven't seen my video called Fox Hosts Clueless Over A&W Bear Scandal, then you can watch it after you click the link in the description below. You can find me at my YouTube channel called We Gonna Be Alright. My architect knows Japanese.